What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So today we're going to talk about the best defenders and attackers for week 3 and 4, which is Safeguard. So as you will see, they still have those 3 debuffs, the Mr. Fantastic pre-fights on them. So every time you knock them down, they get refreshed. And those will be really nice to actually prevent some of this healing, because this healing is 15% of their max health. So buffet every time. The good thing about this is that it is a buff, so you can actually prevent it with neutralize or stagger it. And then of course the Safeguard can be bypassed by ability accuracy, which is very, very good news. Now let's move on to the best attackers for the science class first. So starting off with Anti-Venom. Anti-Venom is going to be really solid because with his special one, he places this Petrify, and then you can also place the Spectre debuff, and that's going to be really good heal reversal. That's what you want to go for. That's the rotation you're going to go for this meta for Anti-Venom. Then we got Nefaria. He will definitely be able to, stop the healing and probably reverse some of it as well. Then we have Human Torch. Of course, he's going to be able to, heal reverse. If you have a 7-star, you're good to go. Joe Fixit, if played correctly, he can also reverse the healing as well, because you will see here the Petrify is 60%. So even 2 of them are going to be reversing the opponent's healing. So he might have some very quick fights. Now the next one is Silk. And Silk can actually reverse healing as well if she's high sig. So when the slow is active, during 6 attacks, the opponent suffers 10 to 150% regen rate. So you can actually reverse the healing pretty well with Silk, but you really need like high sig with her. And then we have Spider-Ham. He doesn't really do anything. He has those debuffs to prevent healing with Despair, but he does bypass Safeguard. He's very quick. Same thing with Spider-Woman. I think they're both going to be really good. Spider-Woman's buffs might get, nullified a little bit, but they're going to become passives. It's just, you're going to have those debuffs to prevent the healing. So I don't think there's going to be a problem using Spider-Woman in this meta. Moving on to Spot. Spot can also go buff immune, which helps with the special one. And most of his damage comes from, bursts of damage. So those bypass Safeguard, so he's going to be good. And then probably the best attacker this meta is going to be Leader. Just amazing. You just do a lot of those light attacks and special one, increase their healing and just watch them melt. Titania will be solid if you get lucky with a special 3 and the opponent doesn't throw their specials, because she's buff immune, so there's not going to be any buffet over time. And then we have Void. He's also going to be super, super good for this meta, especially because we start with the other 3 debuffs on the opponent. So those put to Void's damage, and it's going to be really, really solid. Then we have the skill class. So the skill class, I'm thinking maybe Black Cat is going to be good. I think she should be able to get a lot of abilities failed with the Safeguard here. And she should be able to like nuke the opponent with the critical bleed and stuff. Probably going to be really good. And then I'm thinking Black Panther Civil War because, again, most of his damage comes from bursts of damage and the bleeds, which both bypass the Safeguard. So he should be good if you have like a high rank of him. Then probably one of the best attackers this meta, we have Crossbones. Very easy to bypass the opponent's ability accuracy with these Furies. Kate Bishop, I'm pretty sure is going to make a comeback, especially because of that passive Cold Snap. And there's a lot of defenders that basically shrug off your debuffs, but if they are passive, Kate Bishop is the way to go. I think Fury is also going to be really solid if you have 5 or 5 deep wounds. Those light ender bleeds are going to tick for a lot. Then, of course, we have Okoye. She's going to be able to stop the healing with Despair. So many debuffs. And then last one, I'm thinking maybe Silver Sable. I mean, she gets those critical shocks. They're also passive on the special too. And they tick for a lot. So I feel like maybe we're going to see some Silver Sables. Then moving on to the Mutant class. So the Mutant class, we have Archangel. Of course, he's going to be so good. Even as a 6-star, I feel like. Deadpool X-Force will probably make a comeback as well. With all those Nick Furies, Yelenas, and stuff like that. He's going to be probably the quickest one for them. I'm thinking maybe Jean Grey, because she does have, some Neuroshocks ticking, and the special 2 probably bypasses the Safeguard, if I'm not mistaken. Then we have Mr. Sinister, of course. Mr. Sinister, most of his damage is red, so that bypasses the Safeguard. And then lastly, of course, we have Onslaught. So Onslaught, again, most of his damage is from those degens. Moving on to the Tech class. We are starting off with Guardian. So Guardian, he starts with a buff, which means it is going to get nullified. But as long as you time the buffet over time and get your armor, then honestly, probably one, special 2 is going to kill the opponent if you have like a rank 4. And then rank 3, probably 2 special 1s. But I feel like he he might be pretty decent, might be a bit of an annoying defender too. Then we have Omega Sentinel. Omega Sentinel is fully immune to Nullify, Stagger, and Fate Seal, so she's basically countering the buffet. There is also some really good non-damage debuffs, or sorry, some incinerators that she can place. Maybe if you have a 7-star, she's worth putting in the deck just because she just counters the opponent's healing like that. Then we have Penny Parker. Most of her damage is red, and then the Incinerate is ticking. She should be very nice for those champions that are not immune to Incinerate. Sentinel will be solid because he has a heal block on the special 1. Special 2 Incinerates bypass the safeguard. Then I'm thinking Red Skull. He is not immune to Fate Seal from nodes. So he is going to be losing his armors, but he does have the heal block, so he doesn't really care that the opponent regens. But I don't think he's going to be the best attacker. I think he's going to work. I don't think he's going to be the best though. Then we have Viv. Viv is also immune to Nullify, Fate Seal and stuff like that. So she will counter the buffet. And then she also has that burst of damage, that bypass safeguard. And then lastly, we got Warlock. I think Warlock might be a bit slow, especially if the opponent is bleed immune. But he just counters the healing so easily, so that I feel like he's going to be in people's decks. Now, moving on to the Cosmic class. The Cosmic class, we have not too many champions because they tend to have buffs. And we don't want to have many buffs on in this meta. We have Gallon. Gallon is immune to Nullify, Fate Seal, all that stuff. He's going to be preventing the buffet over time. And also he bypasses Safeguard with his Harvest. Then we have Hyperion. I feel like Hyperion might be actually good. The fact that he's going to be losing some of his power gain buffs might be easier to like spam specials with a bunch of Furies. I'm going to test him, but I feel like he might be worth putting in the deck. And then Carolina, I'm not really suggesting using Carolina because she constantly gets buffs and she doesn't have debuffs. She doesn't place debuffs on the opponent to like stop the healing. She places passive Incinerates. Now you probably can outdamage the regen if you play Carolina well, but I would suggest using her probably only if you have a rank 4 and sigged up as well, because you need as much damage as you can use using Carolina in this meta. Then we have the Mystic class. We have Diablo, of course, she's going to have those poisons, preventing the healing, all that stuff. Kushala, debuffs as well, will stop the healing with Despair. Longshot, because he places a Fate Seal on the special 2. And again, the regen is a buff, so you will be preventing it every time you dodge. And then we have Mojo. Mojo can actually reduce the duration of that regen, so he's probably going to be nice. Nico just shuts it down. Yeah, she's just going to be so OP. Shatra will, with the special 1, will reduce the duration of it as well. And then we have Hood is going to be blocking all those regions, everything. And then Tigra, probably going to be the best attacker for the Mystic class in this meta, because again, most of her damage comes from red, bypasses Safeguard, and she will just stop the regen with that neutralize. Now move on to the best defender. So in this meta, pretty much anyone is a good defender because you can't really nuke them. But I'm going to try to mention like the best ones with a lot of like resistances, immunities, and stuff like that. Starting with Nefaria, he is immune to bleed and has 90% shock and incinerate resistance. Also with his special 1 and special 2, he kind of like forces you to dex them. So he probably will make you trigger the regen a lot. Now we have Hulk. Hulk has so much HP, and the buffet is going to heal him so much because it's 15% of his max HP. So we're going to see a lot of them. Then of course Photon is going to make you dex on those special attacks. It's going to trigger the regen. Photon is going to be tough in Safeguard. And then we have Think. How could I not include Think? Think's going to be such a menace in this meta because the fights are going to last for so long. You definitely need your Black Hats and your Crossbones. Moving on to the Skill class. Skill class is probably the most menacing, I would say, in this meta for defense. Starting off with Atuma. Atuma, if the fight lasts longer, which it will, thanks to the buffet, is going to do more damage to you. So that we don't want that. We have Zemo. So Zemo, you know, you won't be able to place those debuffs if you focus on, let's say, maybe Omega Sentinel, where you want to just place those debuffs to stop the healing, or like Okoye. He's going to root you. And also there's 3 debuffs on him at the start of the fight, which is going to cleanse those Mist Fantastic free fights. So he's probably going to be a bit annoying in this meta. And then, of course, Bullseye, Safeguard, he's going to be so annoying. Shield, we have another good defender because she has like infinite cleanse. You need, basically here, you would need like your Kate Bishop to get that passive. Then Killmonger is going to be great but not for the reason you're thinking, not for the reverb damage, because reverb is going to be basically nothing because you only will hit him for like 1% of his health. But you know the interaction where if you place debuffs on Killmonger, gets a ton of power. So there's a very high chance he will corner you if you place a bunch of debuffs on. Now Korg also has those immunities. I can't find them. Korg has those immunities, and also the longer the fight goes for Korg, the harder it gets. We have Lumatrix as well. He probably will corner you because with those specials he covers a lot of distance. He also is immune to bleed and rupture. And then finally, or not finally, we have 3 more. We have Moleman, shrugging off a lot of things. High health, annoying. Nick Fury, 2 HPs, don't like that. And then lastly, Elena, of course. You would need those counters with Daunted and stuff like that. And yeah, she's going to be a lot more annoying because you kind of like need to dex on her specials as well. So not looking forward to that. We have Bishop here as a mutant defender. I think he might be a bit troublesome just because you can't really put 3 debuffs on him, because if you do, you take damage, as you will see here. Shock, bleed, or incinerate, you will take damage. So might be a bit of a problem, to be honest. This is probably going to be one of the best defenders in this meta, probably like top 3, because you can't really place debuffs on her. Those two specific debuffs that it says. I think it's bleed, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but if you place those, she starts placing neuroshocks on you. And then she also has her own safeguard, and yeah, it even caps special 3 with her own safeguard. So yeah, she's gonna be a menace for sure. Now moving on to Domino. Domino probably a bit annoying if you don't have a counter, as always. Dust has triple immunities. Shock, bleed, and poison. Very, very nice for safeguard. Same thing with Iceman. Incinerate, Nova Flame, bleed, poison, cold snap. Yeah, it's gonna be tough to kill Iceman if you don't have a lot of those options with debuffs. We have Jean Grey, is gonna be even harder to kill. And then we have Sinister. Sinister with his extra regen from the Sig. Man, without a Warlock or like a Red Skull Sentinel, you're not gonna be able to kill him. And he also, the big reason why he's good is because he can't stop his healing with Despair. So love that. And then another one that he can't stop their healing with Despair is Sauron. You might see a few Saurons running around. Moving on to the tech class, we got 3 more. Zola, of course, immunities, tough to kill, tough to parry, will be a bit annoying. And then I'm not sure how Penny's gonna work. I feel like Penny, you might not be able to break the shield very quickly because of Safeguard, but I'm not exactly sure. She might be a menace, actually. And then, of course, how can we not include Sentinel with that much HP? Will be definitely a bit tough to kill. And then we have 2 more. We got Solvark. His regen can only be reduced by 50%, so he's going to be a bit annoying. Can't really prevent his healing with a lot of your debuffs. He also has immunity to bleed and poison, which is the most common. We like that. And then also Warlock. If you fight Warlock for a long time, you're probably going to get infected. And he also has immune bleed, poison, cold snap, and frostbite. So definitely a good defender. Then we got the Cosmic class. Dark Phoenix, of course. Don't think I need to explain. Maestro has a lot of HP. I can see him being a bit annoying to kill because he is immune to Poison Shock and Incinerates. That's a lot of things. And then Nova, he increases the duration of buffs. So that means the buffet over time is going to be increased by 80% if you Sig 200. The regen is going to go nuts on this guy if you got a high Sig one. And then Terax, of course, if you stay too long in a fight with Terax, you're going to start losing tons of HP. He's also immune to Shock and Bleed, which we love. Can't be really using Okoye for him, which we love that. Deathless Thanos also has the immunities as well as his own protection. You just kind of have to wait. And then Serpent, how can we not include Serpent in a meta? He's always going to be annoying. We all know that. And then moving to the last class. Mystics, we have Enchantress. You're going to have to bait a lot of special ones since Safeguard, you can't really nuke the opponent. And then we have Kindred. There's a higher chance he will trigger his 50 spores on you. And there's Degens happening. Then I feel like Mephisto might make a comeback. You won't be able to nuke him unless you have like Torch or Nefaria. And the fight's going to last very long. So that means you're going to take a lot of damage. Maybe actually include mine. Then of course Nico makes you dex on the special one. She will probably heal a lot. She has a lot of HP as well. Very, very annoying defender. And then we have Rintrah and Sasquatch. They both have so much HP. The regen is going to go nuts on them. And then lastly, Destroyer. I figure I should include him because he has decent HP. And also there's a chance if you stay too long, he goes to the special 3 by, you know, throwing a lot of special 1s. But yeah, man, that's going to do it for today's video. I feel like Safeguard is going to be a very interesting meta, personally, because we're not going to have the most common attackers or defenders. So yeah, guys, hopefully this video helped you. And if it did, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.